Hello, happy Thursday, August 6th. Just wanted to do another trading talk episode. Still working on what these are actually going to be about, but mostly it just seems that I can talk about whatever comes to mind for the week in trading or what I'm feeling regarding trading, what I think about it. I think for today, I kind of wanted to touch on be what it means to start trading and what it like takes if you're a beginner trader or if you're getting interested in trading. I think a large part of it in the beginning is studying the stock market in general or whatever you're interested in, whether it be stock market, crypto, like physical assets, whatever it may be, whatever market you're drawn to. I think it'd be good to kind of study just around it. It's not like you'll have a an exact system just yet or know exactly what you want to do. It's just good to kind of get some exposure to different areas and see what you're most attracted to. Like when I originally started trading, I was mostly interested in swing trading. I didn't really know much about the stock market at all. I didn't know what market caps were. I didn't know basic fundamentals. I just knew basically that if there's a hot sector, like for me when I started, it was the pot stocks. Like was that around 2019 or something? I didn't know anything about the individual stocks. I didn't know how they behave. I didn't know about dilution. I just sort of invested and hoped for the best. And then later, when I got more serious, a couple of years down the road, I was mostly interested in becoming a swing trader because I had a full time job and I didn't necessarily want to be on the markets every day. And I began swing trading, sort of looking more into Brian Shannon's work because he's a well known swing trader who also got involved in small cap trading, which I was definitely interested in. Um, so yeah, I think early on I at least figured out that I wanted to trade small cap listed stocks because they had the most volatility. They weren't sketchy like OTCs. It wasn't crypto or anything like that. It was like legitimate or somewhat legitimate companies that were very volatile and there were big price movements and there was the potential to make a lot of money very very quickly, even within a couple minutes. Which, as you've seen me do a couple times, it looks like it's simple, but you get those quick little snaps on the 1 minute candles, and you can make pretty much limitless amounts of money. And of course, it works the opposite way too. You just have to be good at cutting risks. So, all that to say, in the beginning, I was interested in small cap. I knew the market I wanted to trade. I originally thought that I wanted to do swing trading, which I did. I began after I studied quite a bit of books, started swing trading to the best of my ability, and found some really cool plays within small cap that I was able to capitalize on and make pretty decent gains. But later on down the road, I started taking these big losses due to overnight action. I remember I got chapter 11 on one stock. I can't even think of the ticker right now. I try to block it out of my memory. But basically, the stock was up like in the threes or fours. And then after hours, right after the market closed, so I was in profit a couple bucks. So good trade, and I wanted to hold for another move to the upside, which I thought would happen. But that day after hours, my wife and I were like getting cheeseburgers at the hamburger stand or whatever, and they released a Chapter 11 bankruptcy news release, and I was stuck in the trade. So that's pretty much the worst thing they can release, which is basically we're selling all our assets, we're closing down shop, our business is over. And they released that after hours, so I couldn't close the trade. I was stuck in it, and I was kind of stressed all night. I had to wait for pre-market, which was I think like 2 a.m. here in California. So I woke up really early to try to get out of the position. But as soon as the pre-market opened, that stock that was in the like I think it was like 390s or something instantly went down to 20 cents within seconds. So my whole entire position, I think I had like $2,500 on that position. It was up, so I was up a couple $1,000, and then those gains and the entire position got evaporated or just what's that word? Uh, Whatever. It just decimated, gone, wiped out completely, and I had like maybe a couple $100 left from the whole position. So went quickly from being in the profit to nothing. My entire position wiped out. So just that, along with a couple other losses, led me to day trading intraday because I have complete control intraday. I can cut my positions when I need to. nothing too serious can happen. There are halts, as you've seen in the previous videos, but to get decimated like that, the probability of it goes way down. So of course, with day trading, there's less potential sometimes, but even not, as we've seen in this recent market, you can still make 2, 3, 4, 5 times your position intraday. So I didn't really see it as too much of a downside. But yes, of course, swing trading is easier to make larger amounts of money. But again, it's easier to take massive losses. There's ways to do it, like sizing down. But I think maybe about a year ago, started focusing directly on day trading. So over time, as you start, back to the main topic here, as a beginner trader start, you'll probably fumble around and not know exactly what you're interested in, what sort of trading you are most drawn to, what style of trading you're most drawn to, but you figure that out over time as you get gains, as you take losses, and you can continue to refine and work on what works for you. So there's really no one way to approach the market. I know people ask for like books and video recommendations and things like that. I think it's good to absorb as much content as you possibly can in the beginning, but no one system or one strategy will fit you perfectly. So your job is to study as much as you can, approach the markets, have your own thoughts, your own thinking, and develop your own sort of system, your own feel for the markets, your own emotional capacity for the markets, like what size you're comfortable trading, what risk you take, your ability to cut losses. So it's a large process and refinement in learning about yourself and learning how you interact with the markets. So I don't think a lot of that can really be taught or learned from books. I think just the best you can do is absorb and learn as much as you possibly can, but also have the screen time, develop the experience, know what it feels like to place trades, know what it feels like to close trades, know the emotions involved. And the more experience, the more screen time you get, the more you feel the emotions, the more you feel the charts, and then eventually over time you'll be able to feel like you're in sync and in tune with the markets, how they move, how the charts move, what stocks work for you, which ones don't, which sectors are your favorite, how different sectors behave, how to follow trends, how to stick with trends, how to spot patterns, how to jump on patterns when they come up. And it's always changing. So it just takes screen time and experience to do that, as well as staying alive in the markets long enough to be able to learn. And from my experience, a lot of friends I've had that have attempted trading, they say, oh yeah, I can cut reasonably and I can manage my risk and I can obey chart patterns and obey my own rules. And many of them, I can think of a two off the top of my head, that ended up destroying their accounts because they didn't have enough skill yet or enough self-control. They were doing fine cutting risk, managing their risk, and then they got tempted by a stock that may have been extended and they put their whole account on it thinking it would go up and they'd make some money, and then it ends up going straight down and they wiped their whole account out even if they had made progress. So I think in the beginning, the first kind of step is to survive. So whether that be starting with paper trading or just very small size. Like if you're a beginner, starting with like $100 to $300, placing like 1 to 3 trades per day on a cash account, and seeing how you do, seeing how greed works, how fear works, seeing like where you buy on the chart, if you're able to cut your losses quick enough, or if you hold based on FOMO or whatever, and you end up taking a bigger loss than you thought, like you'll start to get a feel for trading. And ultimately, it's almost like a sport, because you have to have the screen time, you have to get the experience, you have to stick with it, you have to stay persistent. And then eventually, like riding a bike, it'll start to make a little bit more sense in how the charts feel, how you respond to different things, and how you confront uncertainty. It's not easy. It's dealing with uncertainty directly, and that takes skills that they don't teach in school. It takes self-refinement, self-development, and ultimately a huge degree of persistence. I think of that movie Cool Hand Luke. It's an older movie where this guy goes to prison think it's like the World War II times, but he gets in a fight and he's not the biggest guy. Um, not the toughest looking guy, but he got in a fight with the biggest, baddest guy in jail, and he didn't win, but he kept getting punched and knocked down, kept getting knocked down, kept getting knocked down over and over, and ultimately he got beat up pretty bad, and he technically lost the fight, but he won the respect of all the other prisoners because of his persistence and willing to get up and keep getting up after getting beat down. And I feel like that idea there, that image there, applies to trading a lot. It's one of the better metaphors for trading, because you will take hits and you'll feel bad and you'll make huge mistakes and you'll feel like quitting and giving up probably multiple times within your first two years. But as long as you keep getting back up, as long as you keep surviving to trade another day, you don't take unnecessary risk, and you're always cutting when appropriately, you'll eventually start developing your own skill set and your own relationship with the markets. So yeah, I think just some ideas there for beginners. And then I kind of wanted to touch on the idea of uncertainty, which I wanted to talk about last week, but I missed the recording. We had some stuff going on here at the farm. But anyways, uncertainty is something that you have to confront every day trading, especially, I mean, any sort of trading. You're directly confronting uncertainty. No one knows what's going to happen next, and there's literally no way to predict what's going to happen next. When you place your trade, you do your best to put the probabilities together to build your conviction on the trade, but no one knows what's going to happen next. What is the guy's name? Mark Machiavelli or something like that, who wrote Trading in the Zone, talks about probability and uncertainty a lot. So yeah, it's something you have to confront directly with your trading is dealing with uncertainty, because each trade you place, you don't know if it's going to win or lose ultimately. You can do your best to prepare, do your best to build conviction, do your best to build your ideas and your feel. But ultimately, you're dealing with uncertainty. You don't know how high it's going to go. You're just trusting in that edge of the future. And just in dealing with uncertainty every day, it does something to your psychology, because most of us working a steady job, yeah, we have to deal with some uncertainty, but I don't think in the most direct dose as trading gives you. So if you're not able to deal with uncertainty, that's going to be a big challenge, which I don't think anyone really is, but it's sort of something to develop, and that requires a lot of detachment from the results. So you kind of have to become like a Buddhist monk or something in practicing detachment, not only from the money gained, the money lost, but just in your your P&L or your wins and losses exactly. Because you don't know what is actually going to happen. So yeah, just some thoughts there. Hoping to keep doing these, hoping to make them a little bit more on point in the future. If you are listening, I would appreciate comments or likes or whatever, just to show some engagement. I didn't really start this channel to make it like viral or get a bunch of views or anything. It's primarily just a journal for myself, so I don't have to store these videos on my computer. I can actually create some content with them and be able to reference my trades back and build better data off of them. So I'm not necessarily trying to be entertaining or helpful, but I am definitely willing to talk and share different ideas if you're interested. So feel free to leave a comment if there's anything I can share or talk about my journey. So anyways, thank you for listening. Have a great day, and I'm looking forward to sharing more videos.